Hi, welcome to episode 2 of Tech Try While Your Nails Dry. In this episode, we are going to try and conquer power agendas. So probably each of us is on one, if not several committees where you have notes and agenda documents and all these pieces that float out to make that team functional. And sometimes we struggle in keeping all that organized. So what we're going to do today is we're going to take a simple Google document and we're going to look at some tips that you can use to keep all those notes in one place and keep all that management clicking away. So while I go through my agenda objectives with you tonight, I will be switching up my nail color, and as promised, my tutorials will take no longer than it takes for my nail polish to dry. So here is my color for tonight, and I'm going to paint my nails while you look at my objectives. Okay, so here we are, and what we have open is just a simple Google Doc, and I've just called it Sample Agenda. And so this would be what is going to end up to be my power agenda. So of course I'm going to start by sharing it with anybody else on my committee in this group on this project, just so they all have access. What we're going to do is we're going to find a way to keep it really organized. And we're going to also build in some pieces that will keep everybody accountable for the things that they've committed to working on. So first, let's work on the organization piece. So there's two ways that you could do this. There is a way that I had started where I would just start adding dates. So let's say that this next meeting is on March 15th. And then I have another meeting maybe on March 21st, and then a third meeting on April 2nd. Okay, and I could keep on going for all these different meetings that we have going on. Sometimes we know about committee meetings a year in advance of when they're going to meet. So I could go ahead and plug in any dates that my group is going to meet. Okay, so I've just typed them in. So what I'm going to do now that I have all these dates is I'm actually going to create a new page for each of the dates. So watch my workflow while I do this. So if I know all the dates ahead of time, I'm just going to play with 3 for this simple example. But let's say I had 20, I would type all 20 dates in there, just the dates. Then I'm going to copy whatever my list is. I'm going to go down a line or two and I'm going to paste it in there. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to enter a page break for each one of these. So each date has its own page in my document. Okay, so to do a page break, you can do Control Enter, or you can find it under Insert menu. So I'll do Control Enter for the March 15th meeting, and then I'm going to come down to the 21st, Control Enter again. Now it has its own page, and one more time for that April 2nd meeting. So you can see I've got a page for April 2nd, a page for March 21st, and a page for March 15th. And I can keep going for my other dates if I had more. And so what I'm going to do now is create a trail of breadcrumbs to get from my top menu of dates to the actual page for that agenda. So under the Insert menu, there is a bookmark option. And what it does is it creates a link within your document. And so I'm going to do that for all 3. And then I'm going to go back up to my top menu. And I'm going to actually hyperlink these dates to those bookmarks. So I'll highlight 3/15/17. I'll go up to my Insert Link button. And bookmarks is actually a drop-down menu right there. Or this is where if you wanted to create a link to an external resource, you could do that too. But I'm going to link 3/15/17 to the page for 3/15/17. And then I click Apply. And then I'm going to do that for my other 2 dates. And what this does is when everybody opens the document for our committee notes, our agenda notes, our project notes, They can see the various dates, and instead of having to thumb through multiple documents or hunt through a document, they can literally click on the date that they need and go directly to that agenda. And then we would have the information gathered in that meeting. So that's one way to do that. Another way, and I'm going to make a new document, this is a second sample agenda, is you could use the headers function within a document. So there's a little drop down text for styles right here in Google Drive, and if you pick heading 1, you could title this the date. So here's 3/15/17. If I hit enter, it goes out of the header text and into just normal text so that I can do that agenda for that date, right? And then if I go down and I do another header, then I could do that 3/21 date, do my agenda for that, and then I can hit enter again and do another heading, and this is that April 2nd date and the agenda. So when I want to see that in a really organized fashion, if I go up to, I'm going to put my cursor at the top of the document, and I'm going to insert a table of contents. And if you had a very long document, you could do it with page numbers or with links actually going there. So I'm going to do links. And there's a little refresh button here, because as time goes on, maybe I'm going to add more and more dates, and I've got them right there in my document. So that's another way that you could leave that trail of breadcrumbs from that first page to get to your actual dates where you're going to dig into the content of that date. What's nice about keeping your agendas in one place is a couple things. First, they're all in one place, so no one is hunting around for where's that agenda, what do we title it. They can star, or they can bookmark one document, and it's all right there. And the other thing too is, if you ever come across a topic with a group and you're thinking, when did we talk about that? What did we decide about that? You can do your Control F and search for that, and it's only going to search within that one document because you have all your notes in one document. So I really do recommend just having a single document for your committee notes for an agenda. It works really well. I've used this method for a couple years now, and I would definitely pick this over having multiple documents. So that covers our first objective of getting really organized with your agenda. The other thing that we talked about in our objectives is wanting to hold our team members accountable. So someone says, oh sure, I can do that, but then you leave your agenda or you leave your committee meeting and you've forgotten who was going to do what. So the other item I would really recommend to keep your committee, your project group, whichever, on track and organized is to assign action items. So if this is agenda item, action item 1, whatever that might be, I can highlight it and comment. And if I start typing at someone's name, and I'm going to pick on my colleague Meg and give her a little shout out here, I can type her email address. She's in my directory, and it's going to give me the option to assign to that person. And so if I click assign, and Meg, it's going to send an email to Megan, and you can go ahead and click this blue button, and so now in our agenda we will remember who volunteered for what, but in addition, in Megan's inbox, she has an email record that she volunteered. So her inbox kind of becomes her to-do list in a way. So she's got an email that says, Megan, you've been assigned action item 1 from this document. So that'll be another piece that'll help keep Megan accountable even after she leaves the meeting. So we use action items a lot, and then once it's done, either I can check this checkbox here to say that it's done, or Megan can come in and say checkbox done, and then it disappears into the comments archive, and then you know going forward that that was taken care of. Someone checked that off the list. So between keeping my agendas all in one place and rocking the action items. This really helps functionality with a team. When you have limited time as an educator, as a professional, then you really need to use your team time effectively with not a lot of waste and logistics of a document. And so these are two power moves that I use on a regular basis to really keep my team organized, and we all benefit from it. So I encourage you to play around with that, and I'm also wondering if you have any other ways that you really keep your documents organized for teamwork. If you've got any other hints or tips, or if you have any questions, let me know. I'd be happy to help. Have a great night.